You ever pull up to your own place after weeks away, ready to breathe easy and find a for sale sign stuck in your front yard, but you didn't put it there because that's how my nightmare started? I swear for one crazy second I wondered if I'd taken a wrong turn. But no. There it was. Clearwater Lake, my family's land, and a shiny white sign for sale. Exclusive lakefront living. I nearly laughed. Then I saw the two guys in suits grinning at some young couple talking like they owned the whole damn place. Let me tell you, nothing will make you question the concept of trust, power, or justice faster than watching strangers sell your family's property while you're still paying the taxes. Name's Roger Brown, by the way. If you've ever come home to something like that, let me know. I'd love to hear how you handled it, because what happened next changed how I see people, and not for the better. Anyway, back up a second. The drive from Raleigh to Pinewood Grove is 2 hours on a good day longer with the usual construction. I'd been gone for 2 weeks busting my back on a bridge job on the coast. The only thing I wanted was a shower, maybe a cold beer, and to watch the sunset from the dock. You know, normal stuff. I pull onto the gravel road trees on both sides, everything familiar. And then that sign. Brand new. Planted about 50 feet from my dock. My dock. The one my granddad built with his bare hands long before most of the houses around here even existed. That lake's been in my family since 1962. Grandpa came back from Vietnam and bought 30 acres with his savings. Raised my dad there, built a cabin. When he passed, everything came to me. Not because I begged for it, but because he trusted me to keep it safe. So I'm standing there, truck door hanging open, staring at these folks. The two men in suits, realtors I guess, are mid-pitch waving at the water like they're Vanna White and This Is Wheel of Fortune. The young couple looks ready to hand over a check on the spot. I walk up trying to keep my hands steady, but my heart's pounding. The taller agent smiles real friendly. "Good afternoon, sir. Interested in lakefront property. 3 lots left starting at $450,000. I stop about 10 feet from him. I say, "What are you doing here?" I'm calm on the outside. But inside, fireworks. He hesitates, the smile flickering. "Are you a neighbor?" "This is a private showing for Pinewood Grove residents." I cut him off point, right at the ground. "This is my property. That lake belongs to me. So I'll ask again, what the hell are you doing here, and who said you could plant that sign?" You ever see grown men get uncomfortable in expensive shoes? The second guy slinks off with his phone mumbling. The young couple look like they'd rather be anywhere else. The first guy tries to keep it polite. "Sir, I think there's some confusion. The lake's part of the Pinewood Grove community amenities. We have authorization from the HOA president. Maybe you're thinking of a different property." Let me tell you, if I wasn't so mad, I'd have laughed. Here's the punchline: these clowns truly believe their own story. Just then a white SUV pulls in behind my truck. A woman steps out, maybe late 50s, platinum hair, red blazer that probably cost more than my mortgage. She strides over like she owns the world. "Mr. Brown," she says, holding out her hand like we're at some garden party. "Sandra Thornton, president of the Pinewood Grove HOA. I understand there's been a little misunderstanding." I don't shake her hand. "No misunderstanding," I tell her. "You have people trespassing, selling what's not theirs." Her smile doesn't slip, but her eyes go cold. "I know you've been away, Mr. Brown, and I can see how this would be confusing. The lake's been a community amenity since the neighborhood was developed. Your grandfather agreed to the arrangement years ago." She says it like she's reciting weather reports. Smooth. Practiced. If I didn't know better, I'd almost believe her. But I do know better. My granddad never sold the lake. He sold 80 acres to the developer in 2009. Not the lake, not the 30 acres around it. I've got the deed, the original contract, the whole thing. She tilts her head like I'm some kid who got the answer wrong. Deeds can be interpreted in many ways, Mr. Brown. 15 years of continuous community use establishes certain rights. I'd hate to see you waste money on lawyers. She's laying it on thick now, telling me with a smile that I don't have a chance. I realize this isn't a misunderstanding. This is a plan. She's been selling access to a lake that isn't hers for 15 years, counting on nobody pushing back. So I do the only thing that feels right. I walk over, grab that sign with both hands, and yank it out of the ground. The realtors freeze. The couple takes a few steps back. Sandra finally loses the smile. "Mr. Brown, I strongly advise you to put that back. Removal of HOA property is a violation." I drop the sign by her bumper. "Not HOA property, my land. Take it with you when you leave." Now she straightens her blazer, looks me dead in the eye, all cool confidence. You may have a piece of paper, Mr. Brown. I have 200 families who believe this lake belongs to them. I have 15 years of precedent. Lawyers, board members, community trust. So let me ask you, who do you think is going to win? She turns, walks away. The realtors follow. Within 5 minutes, they're gone, and I'm left with nothing but tire tracks and a rising feeling of dread. I go inside, find the deed just to make sure I'm not losing my mind. There it is, 30 acres, Clearwater Lake, my grandfather's name dated 1962. The 2009 contract too, with the lake explicitly excluded from the sale. And then tucked in the back, something I hadn't seen before, a letter from my granddad to Sandra, dated 2010. Clearwater Lake is not included in any agreement with the HOA. Any advertisement of lake access without my written consent constitutes fraud. His handwriting steady strong. He'd warned her. She'd ignored him. 24 hours later, a cease and desist letter arrives for me. 3 pages. Harassment, interference, hostile environment. Threats of legal action if I remove any more community property. I set it next to Granddad's letter. One's a threat. The other's a warning she chose to ignore. Sandra doesn't stop there. That same afternoon, every homeowner in Pinewood Grove gets an urgent alert about a neighbor attempting to seize control of Clearwater Lake. My name's not in the email, but everyone knows it's me. The message board explodes. Accusations fly that I'm scamming, faking deeds, exploiting my dead grandfather. By night, someone tosses a bag of garbage onto my driveway. Suspicion turns ugly real quick. The board calls an emergency meeting. I go not to fight, just to watch. Sandra's running the show, shaking hands, smiling, owning the room. When it's her turn to speak, she tells a story how the original landowner agreed to share the lake, how families built memories there, how community use makes ownership. She introduces the HOA lawyer who drones about adverse possession continuous use precedent. The board votes to sue me 7-0. Crowd applauds. Someone gives me the evil eye. Sandra catches my gaze, nods like told you so. Afterward, I call an old friend, Marcus, property lawyer. I show him the papers, the exclusion clause. He says adverse possession only works if the owner abandons the land. Your grandfather's letter proves he didn't. The law is on your side. But the problem isn't law. It's money. Litigation costs $50,000 minimum. Sandra's weapon is exhaustion, not truth. He's right. So I start digging. Every home Sandra's sold around the lake. The listings brag, private access, exclusive waterfront fishing, boating. I stop counting at 47 properties, over $35 million in total sales. This isn't a mix-up, it's fraud. I save every listing, every screenshot. Then comes the isolation. Hardware store guy Dale tells me can't sell to me anymore. Pinewood Grove's most of my business. He doesn't say Sandra's name, he doesn't have to. In town, people cross the street to avoid me. Someone spray paints thief on my property sign. I document everything. Security cameras go up. Sandra even tries to get me fired. My supervisor calls me and someone's claiming you're unstable, maybe fraudulent. He believes me for now, but suddenly I'm on leave paid but pushed aside. Amy, my girlfriend, gets hit too. Anonymous emails, then a formal complaint at her hospital suggesting she's helping me harass people. She works pediatrics. Her reputation's gold. I'm not leaving you, she says, but these people will try everything. I pull back. No more confrontation, just gathering evidence. I find former residents, folks who paid extra for lake access only to learn too late it was a lie. Robert and Linda Callahan, for example, paid $40,000 extra, got booted off the dock after 6 months, sold their house at a loss. I ask if they'll give a statement. Linda doesn't hesitate. That woman called it a misunderstanding. We want to see her held accountable. Piece by piece, I build the case. Formal complaint to the Real Estate Commission. Contact a journalist, Diane Reeves. She says, get 5 families willing to talk with documents. When you're ready to go public, call me. Then Amy tells me about Martha Harris, a patient's mom who used to live in Pinewood Grove. She's got an email from Sandra herself promising exclusive lake access. Black and white. I get Martha's number. She's been waiting for someone to ask. Sandra took $35,000 from me, she says. If you need me to testify, I will. Just as I start to get traction, Sandra finds out. New email blast, this time with my name. Claims I'm harassing residents, trying to con them into a lawsuit. Includes a photo someone snapped me meeting the Callahans at a coffee shop. The online board blows up. People call me a scammer, a predator. Petition goes around, protect Pinewood Grove from Roger Brown. 150 signatures in 2 days. Sandra doesn't stop at shaming. She sues me. $500,000 defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress. Her lawyer knows it's a bluff, a slap suit meant to scare me into silence. Marcus tells me she doesn't want to win in court. She wants to bleed you dry. You still want to fight. I'm not going to lie. That night I sit in the dark thinking about quitting. Amy sits next to me quiet. She wins if you walk away, she says. Is that what your grandfather wanted? Then the break I need. Walter, the PI I hired, finds a memo from 2010. Sandra wrote it to her board after my grandfather's warning. Mr. Brown is elderly and unlikely to pursue legal action. We'll continue marketing lake access as an amenity. Do not discuss this matter with residents. Written intent to defraud, plain as day. I tell Marcus, file the anti-slap motion. Attach the memo. Get ready for war. Annual HOA meeting arrives. Community center packed, 180 people more standing in the back. Sandra sits at the front table, smug, thinking she's already won. I take a seat in the back. Diane, the journalist, is 3 rows up, camera ready. Sandra spins her tale. Our community is under attack. An individual, me, is spreading lies, harassing residents, damaging our reputation. We need a $500 assessment per household to fight in court. She calls for support. Eyes lock on me. I raise my hand. Mr. Brown, do you have something to say? I walk up. Plug in my USB. No notes needed. Evidence first. I show the deed, my grandfather's name, 1962. The contract exclusion clause highlighted. The warning letter he sent Sandra. The 2010 memo. Martha Harris's email. 47 listings promising lake access that was never real. The room turns. Murmurs grow. Someone stands up. I got an email like that. Another chimes in. She told me the same at open house. Sandra loses it, shouts, calls me a liar, claims I fabricated everything. Diane's camera catches every word. Then the silence. Robert Callahan stands. I move for a vote of no confidence in Sandra Thornton. It's over. The board votes. Sandra's out 156-24. She doesn't argue, just leaves. 5 board members quit on the spot. In days, her company's gone. Investigations start. Families file suit. Sandra withdraws her lawsuit against me, hoping it'll all go away quietly. A week later, a man named Thomas, the one who tossed trash at my driveway, knocks on my door. I believed her, he says. You were easier to hate than the truth. Then he leaves. No apology, just gone. Most people, I learned, follow whoever's in charge until that person's gone. Then they pretend they never did. That's the worst part. So what do you do after all that? Families ask me, will you lock us out of the lake forever? I don't know. Part of me wants to. But that's not what my grandfather would have done. He believed the lake wasn't his to sell. His job was to protect it from the wrong people. So I create the Clearwater Lake Community Trust. The lake stays mine, but residents get access with strict rules. Annual fee for upkeep. No motorboats, no ads without disclosure. Anyone breaks the rules, they're out for good. Robert stands up, says, you didn't have to do this. You owed us nothing. He's right. But I couldn't look at the lake, at everything Grandpa built, and turn it into a weapon for revenge. Some things need protection, not for money, not for power, but because they matter. First day of the new trust, I watch from the porch as kids swim near the dock. An old couple fishes from the shore. I feel not triumphant, not even relieved, just calm, like something's been set right. Sandra wanted war. All I wanted was consequences, and in the end, that's what she got. Wars destroy everything. Consequences, they end. And when they do, you're left with what you protected and what you leave behind. So now I'll ask you, what would you have done? Would you have fought or walked away? Where's the line between justice and revenge? Tell me what you think. Or if you've lived through something like this, I want to hear your story. Maybe that's the only way we figure out what's really worth protecting.